The authorities are looking for a man who stole a lawnmower from a Home Depot store in Dixon City, Pennsylvania on Friday morning on the 4th of June. Surveillance images of the suspect were taken around 8:30 that morning. The man started walking outside the store without paying for the mower. When workers tried stopping him, he pulled a gun out on them. He then took off in a white Kia Sportage. No one was injured in the ordeal, and the man is still wanted by the authorities. Florida sugar worker 86-year-old Felix Cabrera has been charged with murder for fatally shooting his boss after being terminated from his job. The incident occurred between 10 and 11 a.m. on Friday morning on the 4th of June. After working at the Belglade Sugar Farm for 31 years, Felix's boss instructed him to clock out and not return to work. Felix then asked his employer if he could work an additional year at the sugar mill for financial reasons. After his boss said no, Felix became upset and pulled a gun out of his pocket. He then fired several shots, killing his boss. The authorities said it appears to have been a planned event. They have not disclosed the employer's name, other than to say the victim was a 67-year-old man from nearby Martin County. Felix was charged with first-degree murder and was booked into the Palm Beach County Jail, and he's been held without bond. His first court date was set for the 5th of June, but court records indicated that he didn't appear. Stepmother 35-year-old Jessica Grajeda and father George Almaraz Sr. have been charged with torturing and then killing 16-year-old George Almaraz Jr. At just after midday on the 1st of June, emergency services responded to a call of a boy requiring CPR. First responders arrived at the apartment complex, located in the 600 block of Del Rosa Place in Pomona, California, where they found the boy not breathing. They tried applying life-saving measures on the teen and transported him to a local hospital, but he was pronounced dead, and the couple were subsequently arrested on the same day. The exact details about the boy's cause of death were not immediately disclosed, but the investigator said a lot of force was used and the boy collapsed, and the boy also suffered significant injuries that were consistent with ongoing physical abuse, which were allegedly inflicted by Jessica. They said the history of the abuse at the home goes back at least 4 months, and that the father was aware of it, but did nothing to stop it or seek medical attention for the boy. 5 other children living in the household, ranging from 1 to 13 years of age, have all been taken into protective custody, but haven't shown any signs that they were abused. The victim's biological mother, Catalina Alvarez, who lives in New Mexico, said she hasn't seen her son since he was 9 years of age. They wouldn't let him call me and told me they said he didn't want to talk to me. She thought her son was fine until she received a call from her mother about his death. Jessica is facing charges of murder, torture, and child abuse resulting in death, as well as 3 other charges for child abuse. The victim's father was originally charged with 1 count of felony child abuse, under circumstances likely to cause great bodily injury or death, but after further investigation into the matter, his charge has been upgraded to torture and murder as well. He was initially released last week on electronic monitoring, but has since been taken into custody. George and Jessica are both held in prison in lieu of bail, set at $2 million each. On the 8th of June, they pleaded not guilty to the charges as the trial continues. 76-year-old Barry Welpley was arrested on the afternoon on the 2nd of June at his Mounds View, Minnesota home in connection to the rape and murder of 15-year-old Julie Hanson that occurred almost 5 decades ago. Barry, who was 27 at the time of Julie's murder, used to live on the 600 block of Worley Road in Naperville, Illinois, which was about a mile from her home. On the night of the 7th of July 1972, Julie rode a bicycle to her brother's baseball game. When Julie hadn't returned home, her elder sister reported her missing the following afternoon, as her parents were not home at the time of her disappearance. Julie's bike was discovered on a gravel road near 87th Street and Modoff Road in Naperville. Her body was found in a cornfield nearby, just over 2 miles from her home. She was kidnapped, raped, and stabbed 36 times. No suspect was immediately identified, and the detectives continued investigating the murder. The authorities said that a breakthrough in the case came from technological advances in DNA and genetic genealogy. They managed to link Barry to the DNA evidence left at the crime scene, but they stopped short of saying what the evidence was, for fear of jeopardizing the prosecution of the case. Barry married in 1965, and they had 2 daughters together. At the time of the murder, he worked as a welder at the Aurora Company. His wife divorced him in 1975 due to adultery. Barry later remarried, but that wife divorced him in 1982. He married once again, and then divorced from his third wife in 1999. Barry has been charged with murdering Julie, and he's been held on a $10 million bail in a Minnesota County jail pending extradition to Illinois. A Palm Bay, Florida couple have been charged with child neglect charges after officers executed a search warrant in a home where they were living in filthy unsanitary conditions, with disgusting odours and an infestation of cockroaches found inside the residence. The officers entered the premises on the 12th of May, located on Calif Avenue Southwest, that was emitting an overwhelming stench of urine and feces. Jency Perez and Stephanie Smith, both 31 years of age, rented a room in the residence. There was also a child, 2 cats and a turtle and a snake. There were hundreds of cockroaches inside the room and on the bed, and could be seen in the closet where the food was kept. Officers also found just over 55 grams of weed, and there's also cigarettes, loose tobacco and alcohol in the room. While conducting the search of the home, officers found there was no food inside the main fridge, or in the kitchen, or another fridge inside the living room. A toilet inside the main bathroom was backed up, and upon further investigation it was discovered that the sewage was being backed up into the home and front yard. An animal control officer also responded to the home and took the animals. The couple faced child neglect charges, while Jency faces a possession of marijuana charge. It's unclear now who's looking after the child. Kentucky parents 44-year-old Troy Cassatein and 40-year-old Susan Castleton were arrested last month for child abuse on their 4-year-old son. Reports of the abuse were received by the authorities, and officers were called out to the 1324 Ashford Drive home in Florence. Family Services officials, along with the deputies, found a 4-year-old child locked inside a bedroom. It was said that the child was locked in the bedroom for 15 hours every day, under deplorable conditions. The bedroom walls and ceiling were smeared in human feces, along with holes, trash and food on the floor. There was a potty training mat, a single foam mat where the boys slept. The investigators discovered that the parents would take the child out of the bedroom after 15 hours, but lock him back in if he had an outburst. There were other children in the home, attending online schooling. The parents stated that the child remained locked in the bedroom to prevent any distractions while the other children in the home were studying. All the children have been removed from the home and placed under foster care. Troy and Susan were both arrested on the 10th of May, and each have been charged with 1 count of criminal abuse. Their bond was set at $500,000 cash, and they were due to make a court appearance on the 24th of May. However, no updates have been provided on the matter.